stopped feeling bad about being the weird kid and started just embracing it. I'm weird. I'm a little wild, and I can use that to my advantage.
This is where it all begins, so say goodbye to all your fears, all your doubts. This is where they die. This is where we come to win, we come to fly. This is where we make our dreams come to life. Welcome to Innovation City.
Welcome to Innovation City, a podcast featuring the innovators, creators, and disruptors who are fueling innovation in emerging markets across the country. I'm here with my co-host, Leanne Buchanan.
Hello, everybody.
And I'm really excited. We have with us today, Danny Gula.
Hey,
Welcome.
guys.
Hey, Danny. Well, I'm excited for this conversation.
Thank you. Me too.
One, because I want to get to know you. What makes you tick? What makes you excited? And we're going to talk a little bit more about your role as partner at Redding Creative in a moment.
Sure.
But we want to start off by asking you my favorite question to ask everybody,
Okay.
which is, what is your superpower and how and when did you first discover it?
That one's easy. My superpower is my ADHD. You probably hear that a lot from creative people, or you have heard it. But I was in third grade, I think, when I got diagnosed, and did the Ritalin thing because I was a kid in the '90s, and that's what everybody did. Hated it. Had really supportive parents who tried it with me, and then whenever I was just like, this isn't working for me, I don't feel like me. And then my mom was just like, okay, well, we'll just work hard together and figure out what works for you. And I had a great family doctor, who kind of told her like what to expect and don't be let down. Like, all the most creative people and all the best doctors have ADHD because they think outside the box. And my mom and dad just supported me. And that became kind of just like who I was. I stopped feeling bad about being the weird kid and started just embracing it. Like, I'm weird. I'm a little wild, and I can use that to my advantage.
That's great. I think this process of reframing what some people might call a disability or a disorder, or have a negative framing to it, and just turning around in a positive, can be so important as a springboard. Talk to us, Danny, about how this superpower has manifested in your life, projects, different things.
Probably the easiest thing is, like, I'm kind of known as an idea guy. It kind of became a joke at my previous job at a company called VAT19, and my boss just started trusting me and like letting me run with my ideas because like they would, they would work out, and they weren't always great and they'd get shot down, but I just never really shut up. So I was just kind of always spinning, and my brain's always going. And you hear a lot of stories about entrepreneurs and creative people that have ADHD, and it's just because I heard one TikToker describe it as, how you're told to think outside the box. Well, think about, the box isn't so much a box as much a swarm of bees, and then they're surrounding the box, and like you just kind of got all of it. And I'm one of those bees, and I just move around there, and we figure it out, and it's fun, man. It just allows me to ignore the world for what it is, I guess, is really a way to look at it. And then when you stop thinking about things as they are, you can imagine what they're going to be.
And what has diving headfirst into the creative process and your ideas taught you about yourself?
I've been really encouraged, I guess. Like, I read a biography of Jim Carrey when I was a kid, in probably about fourth grade. So shortly after being diagnosed with ADHD, and him having a teacher that just gave him an outlet. And like, he was a weird kid that spoke out too much in class and couldn't be quiet. And she's like, if you can just be quiet every day, I'll give you 5 minutes at the end of class. And that was the beginning of him doing stand-up and impressions and all of his things. And that really inspired me to just say, like, okay, if I've got an outlet, I'll figure it out. And I've never really given up on trying anything new. So I guess the thing it taught me about myself too is just that, like, if you've not tried something, just try it. The only thing keeping me from being able to do something is trying. So I've never looked at anything as something I can't do, I guess. And that really came right from that. Sorry, I didn't take Adderall today, so I'm all over the place, I'm sure.
Well, I was telling you just earlier before we got on that I was just watching, or I wasn't actually watching, but I was telling my son, okay, it's time to shut off YouTube. and I'm always, trying to figure out what he's watching.
Yeah.
And there you are on the screen. And I'm like, hey, I know this guy.
I used to work with him. Yeah, we used to make websites together.
And apparently, like hundreds of millions of how many views are you directly responsible for?
Oh, directly, that's hard to say, man. We had such a great team at VAT19.
Or how many views of the videos that you're in? Let's put it that way.
It's billions, I think.
Billions.
Somewhere. When I started there, we were under 1 million subscribers. My buddy John had been there for a few years and been trying to get me on, and shortly after I got there, we hit our first 1 million. And when I left, we were at 7.5 million. So the exponential growth was incredible. So my probably proudest moment is a series called Hidden in Plain Sight, which would get a few million views every episode. We did 18 episodes. And everyone went trending almost on YouTube.
Wow.
So that's probably like the most thing that I could say, like that's mine. And it took a whole team to do it, so it's not completely mine, but it was kind of like me and my partner John's brainchild, and our boss let us run with it completely. So it was a ton of fun and getting to stretch ourselves creatively.
Is there a formula to viral video, or is it just like you kind of know what you're doing, but you're still just getting lucky?
Yeah, I mean, there's formulas for sure, and there's some people that'll guarantee it. But you can, a lot of those people just know where to pay for the right kind of people to talk about it. So like when you're talking like truly viral, like we didn't spend much of any money on marketing at VAT19. It was truly just us building an organic audience that wanted to see our commercials. That's what every video was, really. It's just a unique commercial. We just thought outside the box. How do we just make commercials people want to watch? But yeah, so there's no formula per se, but I usually go about two things. If it's something that people can easily recreate themselves, that they want to do at home, they can see themselves doing it, that's one way to go. Or if it's something that like everybody would always want to do but can't even imagine how they could do it. Your spectacle's so huge. Those are two kind of like low-hanging fruit that I kind of go for. Two series kind of go around that I worked on was one called This Could Be Awesome, which was all about like big stunts, the kind of the big things we did at VAT19. And then another one was a show called, or kind of a style called Real versus Gummy, which became like this big trend in 2017. Like one of the biggest trends on YouTube, like billions and billions of views, thousands of creators did this challenge because everybody wanted to recreate it. It was just a game that we made. They were like, this would be fun. And I think people could play at home and they'd buy our gummy products. So we did it. So like, yeah, it's just kind of like, they're very different styles. Like if you want everybody else to do it, or if you want to be the only one who could do it. But there's all kinds of ways, there's heartstrings and wholesome videos, and you just got to find what resonates with people and just go for it.
That's awesome. It reminds me of the Mentos Diet Coke experience. Like every video you do is like Mentos and Diet Coke.
Yeah. We try, man. We made the world's largest bath bomb. It was 2,000 pounds. We threw it in a pool, and that's like the extreme Mentos and Coke.
It's interesting what comes up for me as you're describing the videos, and I have not watched probably as many as Tyler has watched, is it's this interesting kind of intersection between challenging people around their assumptions and then creating an opportunity for community more broadly. So I'm curious to understand, like, what is that creative process look like when you're going through ideas and like spitballing and saying like, what do people want and what's gonna like inspire them? Yeah,
man, we're always trying to figure it out, and it's a constant struggle to figure out what the algorithms are doing, because you have to work within that as much as we all hate it. So you're balancing like your integrity as an artist, like what do I want to do versus what do people want to see. And we're just always trying to marry those two things. Like, where do we want to be in the future? And my partner, John, that was with me at VAT19 and left, our process is really just, we've been friends our entire life since 5th grade. So we've been making videos since we were in junior high together. We don't turn each other down when they want to talk about an idea. We say there's no bad ideas in a brainstorm. I think a lot of people have that philosophy. And what that really means is like, just don't, like, it's not that you're not going to come up with a bad idea, but don't be afraid. Like, just try it. We're very encouraging each other. We know each other's strengths too. So having that great partner is amazing. But we are just constantly brainstorming, and it's really hard to stay focused and actually get the work done when you're just always like, you want to do the next thing and the next thing. So we just don't turn it off. And if something's good, we write it down. I'm kind of all over the place in ADHD. John's very organized and runs Asana, our task management software for us. Like, I have an idea, he'll put it in Asana so we don't forget it. And yeah, I don't think there's any right or wrong way. We're trying new things all the time. And as we're launching new channels and things within Reading Creative, our new company, we're not afraid to fail, man. We've found a business model that's profitable. So that allows us the freedom to try a lot of new things and look for what's the next area we can innovate. We were the first people on YouTube probably to really focus first on commercials. Like we made a whole YouTube channel out of commercials when everybody was buying DVRs and ad blockers. Mm-hmm. So we're just, what's the next thing? Where do we want to go? What do we want to be? If we're never as famous as we were at VAT19 ever again, are we okay with it? Yeah. Then it doesn't matter. Just keep brainstorming and keep trying, man. We're encouraging each other, and our company's about more than just like success and viral videos.
It sounds like your partnership is really a great blueprint for what the ideal creative collaborative relationship should look like.
Yeah.
And so that makes me wonder if you could talk through, what does that partnership process look like when you're working with clients,
right,
and beginning to share ideas and try to establish a rapport around what this output or what the goals might be in a particular project?
Right. That's tough, man. Client work is like, our old boss used to do more client work and like quit it to do VAT19, and it was a whole thing. But you win some, you lose some. We say you always have a client, whether it's the algorithm on YouTube or it's a physical person you're talking to. So it's just like anything else, man. You got to build a relationship. Mm-hmm. We brought on a launch partner for a new YouTube channel called Randomonium last year, which was kind of like our big flagship show under our company. And our partner was FAO Schwartz, the old toy store from when we were all kids. Yes. And it was during the heart of the pandemic. We quit our jobs during right after our governor gave the stay home order. Like, we were like, are we going to do this? We're going to do it. They were kind of nervous. We were kind of nervous. Everything changed, but we were very encouraging to them that we understood them. We've done this a lot. I mean, we've made thousands of commercials. So like we get it, and we've done a variety of things. So we really just built up that relationship. And they took a leap with us. And I think maybe that's it, is just asking people to trust you a little bit, like show them your record and ask for some trust and to build a relationship, and that you promise them that you'll meet them where they want to be met. And after that, man, they just gave us the keys. And we've gotten to do some great things. We renewed our contract with them for more sponsorship things. We got to work with Jimmy Fallon through them and make a video for our commercial for Target that ran on Hulu and stuff. So, man, it was just like so many doors opened just by asking for a little bit of trust and then earning it, man. Like, deliver, like if you can, and believe in yourself, man, because most of the things we say we can do, we might not have done before on our own, but we know we can do it. Like I said before, is like the only thing keeping me from knowing how to do something is trying. Yeah. So I think that's a pretty common thing with ADHD people. Like under pressure, we're pretty good.
So tell me about Reading Creative.
We are, a blanket statement, we're a media company. We offer commercial media production, whether that's photos, traditional 30-second commercials, viral commercials, whatever you need, video productions, consulting. If you want to be doing it on your own, we'll be glad to help you out on that. And then original productions, which are things like Randomonium is our biggest one, our flagship show, our podcast called Timely, another YouTube channel that my wife runs called Gulash Threads, where she does like embroidery tutorials. We're about to launch a gaming channel and another channel that I'm not really at liberty to talk about yet, but so just it's so much fun. And I think the original productions kind of go off of we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. And when we don't have a client to make commercials for, we have equipment, we have a studio, so we might as well be producing. The way we started our company was pretty gutsy. Like we made a deal with Mattel to make them a YouTube channel for a year and told them we had a studio when we didn't, and asked for half the money up front so we could buy the studio. And then
that's business.
That worked out great. It wasn't a lie as much as a future truth. And
I love that.
So like, we can do it. We know we can do it. And if we can't get enough money to buy the studio, we've got enough equipment to make this happen. We believed in ourselves. We knew our talent and our skills. And we cold called everybody till we got it. But that's what we do, man. If you have some sort of media need, we'll definitely work within the traditional formats that most people are used to working with, agencies and production houses and stuff. But our business model with our original productions really grants people a different way to make commercials, because we know people were struggling as things like tariffs happened, and the needs went up with the pandemic, but the dollars didn't necessarily, the budgets didn't go up. So people were looking to get creative. So we created Randomonium as a YouTube channel about two guys who make commercials. So we could kind of blend influencer marketing and commercial production. So if people don't need a full-on 30-second commercial, they can pay just a little bit less money and go the influencer marketing route and get a different type of commercial. Yep. So we try to be unique.
You are. I love it. And it's that time.
Ooh.
All right.
For the lightning round.
We told you about the lightning round, right?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
What is one of the kindest things someone has ever done for you?
Oh man, one of the kindest things anyone's ever done for me. Probably my old boss. I used to work for Apple, and I had a boss who really took a chance on me, saw the potential, and when I didn't live up to it, didn't fire me. Took me outside and told me he might, but that he believed in me and where it could be. Like that tough love, man, it stuck with me. And having such a good leader, I'd say like that moment was huge for me, going for that walk with him and him being like, look, man, I hired you for a reason and you're not performing for it. Like you can do this. What do you need? And that switch from just like, you're not performing, do better, to you're not performing, how can I help you? And I believe in you. That was just life-changing.
What do you dream of achieving one day?
If I can just keep being a good father, and if my kids decide to be a good grandfather, I'll be happy. Like, hopefully I'm a good father now, but that family is kind of my number one priority.
Where have you found peace?
Man, therapy. Started therapy over the pandemic. Never really did it much before. I go every week now. Would miss it for the world, and it's really helped me kind of get my crap together.
Mm-hmm.
What is something new you recently tried and loved?
Something new I recently tried and loved. I don't know, man. I try so many things all the time. Like I ate pure capsaicin at one point, which is like the thing that makes chili peppers hot, like the chemical, not the chili pepper. Like just so something new that I haven't tried. Gosh. It's got to be some kind of drink or something. I don't know, like some kind of health thing. Oh, oat milk, man. Oat milk. Love oat milk. I hated all fake milks. I was totally a dairy guy. And I found out lately dairy doesn't sit well with me. And now that I've been doing nothing but oat milk's great.
Oh, okay.
Let's go for it. It goes great in coffee.
What have you witnessed that has strengthened your faith in humanity?
The pandemic, man. In one hand, you could look at it and say like it was so divisive, and like you could look at it and be like, it showed us who people were. Some people were really big jerks and didn't really care about the other people. But I don't think it's that simple. And I think a lot of times people can try to divide us and put us into really simple groups. But man, I saw so many people taking care of each other and caring and rallying. And that last year there was so much heartbreak. George Floyd, the pandemic. Wildfires, but people really stepped up, and maybe all of us didn't, but I really like to think that things have changed drastically, and I'm really excited for where it's going to go.
Awesome.
Well, Danny, this has been great. How can people get in touch with you, with Redding Creative?
Yeah. reddingcreative.com. That's the easiest way probably, or just check us out check me out on any social media, YouTube, Danny Gula, and our YouTube channel, Randomonium, is probably the most fun way to get a hold of us, because we do read all the comments and we'll respond too. So
awesome. This has been such a fun conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for listening to Innovation City. If you like this episode, you can find more episodes at innovationcity.co or anywhere where you watch or listen to podcasts. Please subscribe, rate, and review, and we'll see you next week.
This is where it all begins, so say goodbye to all your fears, all your doubts. This is where they die. This is where we come to win.